Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night. That means it's time for a mock draft. Thanks for coming out a little bit early today, 6:30 today. And I am struggling, Dave, with this first pick because I always take McCaffrey first. Should I take Kelsey?
I think you should take J.K. Dobbins.
All right, McCaffrey. Tara, you have the second pick. This is Tara Roberts, our special guest today at It's Tara Time. I know this is an easy pick for you, but welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. I am pumped. It has been a crazy day with all the notifications of cuts, but I'm happy to be here.
Yes, indeed. Dave Richard is here as well, and we're taking your questions all throughout the show. We've got Tara, we've got 4 CBS people, and we have 5 people from our Facebook group joining us today. Is Dalvin Cook is the second pick, no surprise. So we got a bunch of listeners and viewers with us drafting today. RJ White is a CBSer with the third pick. We'll see what he does in half PPR. Is it going to be Henry? Is it going to be Kamara? Is it going to be Dobbins? We've got a first question here from Air Baja. Greetings, Kamara or Cook? That question was just answered by Tara with Dalvin Cook, and that's going to be pretty much consensus. All right, here's a harder one from, not going to read that name, but Mostert or Henderson. Tara, what do you think, Mostert or Henderson?
It's Henderson for me. I'm not afraid of the Sony Michel trade. I think it was more of a depth add piece, and to make sure that in the event that Henderson does get hurt, because they've already got a taste of the possibility of him getting hurt, to have a nice little backup plan there. Then we saw the news about Xavier Jones as well. So I don't think he was brought in to overtake Darrell Henderson. I'm still pretty comfortable with him.
All right. So how about Kamara 3 and Derrick Henry 4, Dave, in half PPR?
Makes perfect sense. You want to take advantage of the receptions that Alvin Kamara should be able to still get in the Saints offense. I would be surprised, honestly, if he were south of 65 receptions. I know we're used to him being around 80 receptions, and he could get there. It wouldn't surprise me if he was around 70. It would really surprise me if he was like at 60, assuming he plays a full year. He should end up being a big, huge part of that Saints offense, as he always has been.
Travis Kelce 5 overall in a half PPR league. Tara, when would you take Travis Kelce?
I'm comfortable with taking him maybe any spot between 6 and 12 in that back half. There's still, I personally do like Aaron Jones and Ezekiel Elliott, so I want to get those guys in there first to get one of those top running backs. But after that, it's fair game.
All right, here's a question, and keep the questions coming throughout the night from Kevin. How do you feel? This is in all caps, Dave, so answer with enthusiasm. How do you guys feel about Tony Jones Jr.?
Well, something funny. I've been talking up Tony Jones quite a bit. I'm up on the clock, by the way, I believe.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm not going to take Tony Jones at 9th overall. I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor. I've been talking him up a lot. I like the way they looked in the preseason, but I was told today that my interest in him is misfounded. The fact that they've got Latavius Murray still on the roster following their cut down to 53 suggests that Murray would still get a lion's share of the work in the event that Alvin Kamara were to miss time, and that Tony Jones could be more of a change of pace type running back in that offense. So I don't mind if you're talking about like around 12 plus, you want to take the shot on Tony Jones just to see what happens in weeks 1 through 3. Be my guest. He's got good speed. He's got good burst, can change direction nicely. He has decent hands as well, but I'm not sure he's going to end up being worth a pick in round 10 or so, which is where I was considering him as recently as 48 hours ago.
All right, we're 11 picks in, everybody. And by the way, Sam said Tara just won the draft by taking Dalvin Cook. Nice work, Tara. How about
it's over? We should just go home.
Right. Najee Harris. I want to get a little question going here in the chat room. Dave took Jonathan Taylor. He took him over Austin Eckler in half PPR. I want to know what everybody else would do. Would you take Jonathan Taylor or Austin Eckler in half PPR? Dave, in full PPR, would you take Taylor or Eckler?
I would take Taylor over Eckler, even in full PPR. I just think that he's going to end up being the workhorse for Indianapolis. And yeah, he will lose some catches to Nyheim Hines. But we've got like maybe one report a week out of Indianapolis about how much he's impressed the coaching staff there and how they're forced to basically rely on him because of all the question marks that they have at quarterback, at wide receiver. Who's going to catch the ball with T.Y. Hilton on the shelf? Who's going to throw the ball if Carson Wentz is missing all this time? So I think they're going to feel really safe leaning on Jonathan Taylor to begin the season. Hopefully that offensive line will be in good enough shape to open up some lanes for him. But I anticipate Jonathan Taylor having a very good year.
All right, Dave, you're on the clock here. Let's talk about what we've seen here. Team 12 took Harris and Diggs. Team 11 has Tyreek Hill and Mixon. Team 10 has Eckler and Barkley. You took Jonathan Taylor and Antonio Gibson.
Going running back. I am learning over and over again with each mock draft that I do that having two running backs after my first three picks is really the way that you want to play this. Going 0 RB, there's not going to be a lot of running backs that you're going to love by the time you get to rounds 5, 6, and 7. And honestly, there's not going to be a lot of running backs you're going to like at round 8 or 9 either that you'd consider putting in your lineup. There are some guys that are going to be okay, but I want to have two shots at getting a stud running back that can finish top 10 in fantasy football in points per game to help carry my team. It's the position outside of quarterback that scores the most points. I know I can wait on quarterbacks, especially when I'm drafting with a bunch of smart people like I am tonight. Those people will also wait on quarterback and receivers deeper than ever this year. So I feel really good starting with two running backs, especially two second-year guys like Taylor and Gibson.
Let's see what. Okay, so Tara representing here. It was fun seeing Adam on Fantasy Pros. If that was a trade, CBS won. I think that is a compliment to Tara and not so much to me. Okay, I can take it. People are pretty split on Taylor versus Eckler. So, Tara, how do you feel about if you have a late pick? Obviously, you don't have that. You have number 2. Running back, wide receiver. Let's say Kelsey's out of the equation there. Do you have a strong preference, or is just best available?
No, for me, it's running back. Unless running back all the time. Unless there's a running back run at the beginning. I was in a home league draft the other day, and there were like 9 running backs taken in a row, and that kind of threw a wrench in things. But typically, if I've got a late pick, I'm trying to go running back. I like the advantage there.
Well, yeah. I mean, in a full PPR league, I could not pass up a top 5 wide receiver. In a half PPR league, I think it's more defensible. Dave, I think it's interesting that you took Gibson over Nick Chubb.
Yeah, in full PPR in full PPR, that's an easy call, and in half PPR, it's a lot closer. I could have considered Chubb over Gibson. Yeah, now that I think about it, maybe that's something that I would have done. But I am counting on Gibson to increase his target volume in this Washington offense, and I think both these guys have a chance to score a bunch of touchdowns this year. All
right, Sybil is on the clock, and she takes wow, look at this 19 and 20, David Montgomery and James Robinson. And
here we go, running backs, baby, yeah. Flying.
And you know what? Like, based on who's left on the board: Carson, CEH, Swift. That's fine, but this is where I think getting DeAndre Hopkins, getting Calvin Ridley's off the board, but Metcalf. I don't know. I personally, Waller. I think they should go ahead of James Robinson at the very least. And we'll see. I think we'll get a little wide receiver run here. That's my prediction.
Well, there's not much left at running back.
Yeah, agree.
But I think this is what Tara was talking about and what I'm talking about when it comes to locking up that running back position. Clearly, there's a lot of people in this draft that are doing the same thing. I'm looking at the running backs that are left. You tell me which of these running backs you're totally at peace with having as number 2 options. Chris Carson.
Not in round 2, but in round 3, yes, absolutely.
But as a number 2 fantasy running back, you'd love to have him, right? Tara, you'd agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah.
Yes. Myles Gaskin.
No.
I'm a little bit shakier on that one.
DeAndre Swift. I'd be okay with Gaskin. Yeah. DeAndre Swift.
I'm good with that.
Adam?
Full PPR, yes. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, I'm a little shaky on Swift. Mike Davis. I'm shaky on Davis.
Yeah.
I'm shaking.
I'd rather wait.
Okay. Adam, you'd wait on Davis too, or you're okay with it?
Yeah. Round 5. Right.
Damian Harris, Josh Jacobs, Gus Edwards, Chase Edmonds, Miles Sanders. Any of those guys really just stand out to you as gotta have them number 2 fantasy running backs?
Nope.
No. I'm not reaching for him.
So that's the point, is that if you're taking 2 running backs early on, you don't have to mess with that motley crew of running backs that have some warts on them. And there's going to be good wide receivers and tight ends, like you talked about, Adam.
Did you see who me and Tara get as our RB2 in round 4? Because we're going to get one of the players that you mentioned. And we're going to have, Tara's got Keenan Allen and Terry McLaurin, and I have Darren Waller and DK Metcalf. So I'm fine with them as my RB2 if I have stud running back, stud wide receiver, top tight end, or stud running back and 2 stud wide receivers.
I'd be shocked if let's see who's still left on the board since I started talking. Carson, Edwards-Helaire, Gaskin, Swift. Those 4, I'd be shocked if they're there when you're picking late in round 4, you guys. Mike Davis, I think late round 4, it's a possibility. Damian Harris should make it there. Gus Edwards should make it there. Chase Edmonds should make it there.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Well, I mean, so that's the price you guys paid by going receiver in rounds 2 and 3.
Absolutely. And I mean, Tara might have this decision. She could even skip running back again and maybe take like Mark Andrews and Dak Prescott or something. We'll see how it plays out. All right. So take a look at the board here. This is the running back run. This is the wide receiver run. After James Robinson and Montgomery went, we had Hopkins, Jefferson, Keenan Allen, Darren Waller, Metcalf, McLaurin, AJ Brown, Chris Carson. This all seems to make sense, right?
For sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what this question is here from. That's not the one I was looking for. From Tim. How comfortable do you feel drafting AJ Brown considering his offseason knee surgery? Does it impact Julio's value? Tara, you want to take that one? Did I take AJ Brown? No, RJ did. I took Metcalf over Brown.
You should know who you're taking.
Metcalf and AJ Brown are the same exact player.
Come on. No, they're not.
Drafting and hosting. It's got a lot going on.
Thank you. Go ahead. You can take that one.
I feel 100% comfortable with AJ Brown. From my point of view, how does it impact Julio's value? It doesn't really. Their value is staying the same for me. I'm high on both of them. I think that Julio is a great value for where he's going at. I still love AJ Brown. And, I'm not afraid of the run first offense that the Titans have. They're very efficient with the pass game. I'm very comfortable with that. And when you look at the wide receiver 3, the tight end position, they've got some talent there, but it doesn't seem like they're really intent on targeting anyone in particular higher than either of those 2. So I'm really good with them.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we're going to get here. We had an auto pick. We're going to back it out. It was Josh Allen. And Sybil, if you are watching, you are on the clock. You are not on auto. You took Tyler Lockett. Okay.
If you're not watching, then what are you doing?
Exactly. Okay. I apologize if I'm a little distracted. Usually Jamie is commissioner and does all this stuff while I host. So I'm going to try.
You almost cursed just now.
No, I didn't.
I think you almost did. I think you almost said the S word.
I swear I didn't. All right, here's the Saquon Barkley one. I don't think it's realistic because I'm a fantasy cantina pairing. No, you can't pair Barkley with Dalvin Cook. I know Barkley's going to fall. I do not think he's going to fall that far.
You could do it in a salary cap draft. We had one today. Dalvin Cook went for 32. Our budget was 100, so 32%. And Saquon went for 20%. So you could load up with those 2 guys and then still have half your budget to fill out the rest of your roster.
Sybil is watching. She and Tara are our 2 girls. So you girls represent. All right, I like that. I always try. I don't get that many, I say, hey, who wants to be in? I think Sybil was the first female that I saw that responded. So always try to get the girls in there. All right, so Tara, we got Patrick Mahomes off the board at 32 overall. What do you think about that value?
If that's your guy, go ahead and get him. I'm not somebody that's taking a quarterback that early. I think you can get a very similar value for Kyler Murray and Josh Allen. So I'm not gung-ho on gunning for Patrick Mahomes, but it's not a bad place for him.
It's about the earliest I would take him.
Trying to look at I really like this Alvin Kamara, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown team. That's the team with the 3rd pick, RJ. Kamara, Jefferson, and Brown. Yeah. I like that a lot more than Eckler, Barkley, and Lamb. Kamara, Jefferson, and Brown versus Eckler, Barkley, and Lamb. It's nice to have an early pick, by the way.
Right. We'll see what ends up happening at running back there. But if you're going to miss on the second running back, you better have 2 top 12 receivers, and that's what RJ pulled off.
Dave, I'll tell you, man, I know that the general school of thought, and we're going to give away a Sportsline subscription in just a second, so stay tuned, is that
those are sweet.
We're in the RB dead zone, but I actually just had a surprise guest, Ben Gretsch, come on the show that's going to air tomorrow, and I just feel much better about the RB dead zone that's about to come up. I feel much better this year much better than I did last year. We had all these old guys that were on their last legs. You had Le'Veon Bell and you had Todd Gurley and you had Mark Ingram and stuff like that. People were reaching for Devin Singletary. I think we're going to see the group come off soon. I think, and the fact that DeAndre Swift is now a round 4 pick. Here's Myles Gaskin off the board. I mean, I know, Dave, you said you'd be good with him. I'm not a Gaskin guy per se, but whatever. I think I just like it. I just think this tier of running back is better than it used to be. And it makes me okay with waiting a little bit. How do you feel?
I get it. I feel like the reason why there isn't as much of a running back dead zone, or if there is one, it's a little bit later on, is because there aren't as many older running backs in the league. We've been treated to a lot of really good young running backs that have come into the league a bunch of different ways. You've got guys like Saquon and Zeke that were early first-round picks, and then you've got guys like Myles Gaskin he was a 7th-round pick. He just got a good opportunity.
Hey,
to
Dave,
come in and play.
Why don't you walk us through your pick?
I took Chris Godwin. He's the highest name in my queue. There wasn't a tight end that I loved in that spot in round 4. I did consider Mike Davis, but like I told you, I'm a little the word was shaky that we used. I'm a little shaky on Mikey Davis. I think he's got a chance to have a good role, but he's 28 years old. He's never been the guy in an offense except when pressed into action. Now he's going to get his chance. I don't know how much of a chance he'll get. I think he'll be okay. But I'm willing to take my chances on what's left at running back in rounds 5 or 6.
Okay, so Dave has the 2 running backs they started with: Taylor and Gibson, Allen Robinson, and Chris Godwin. And maybe you were hurt a little bit by Gaskin and Sanders, Swift, Gaskin, Sanders going right in front of you. If you had started running back receiver or something, maybe that would have thrown off your game plan a little bit if you had wanted to get your RB2 there.
Mm-hmm. Josh
Jacobs goes. So now we got a running back run.
And it's happening right in front of you guys. Like you're watching these guys. You're watching all those running backs that we talked about evaporate. So I'm real curious to see how you guys maneuver here in rounds 4 and 5, especially since you have back-to-back picks, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So Tara has Dalvin Cook, Keenan Allen, and who was your 3rd pick?
And Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
I have Christian McCaffrey, DK Metcalf, and Darren Waller. So I definitely want a running back here. And we've got Damian Harris, Chase Edmonds. Yeah, look, there's still Edmonds, Harris, Davis, Henderson. Those are the 4 I'd consider here.
And is that the order?
I really like Chase Edmonds.
I don't know if that's the truth or not.
I can't figure out this order. I just can't, Dave. I'm sorry.
I'm not a big Edmonds fan. I'm a little skeptic. I consider Kyler Murray the RB1 there. So
that's a great call. That's a great way to put it. But the one thing that is in Edmonds' favor is that he's a fit for that passing game a lot more than Connor is.
Oh yeah.
And I think what I think you're saying, Tara, is that you believe the offense is just going to kind of run through Kyler Murray. Kyler will handle a lot of the rushing work in that offense. And of course, he's going to handle the passing work. Is that kind of where your mind's at with that?
Yep, 100%.
Okay. So if that's going to be the case, he needs guys with good hands and speed. And Connor's got okay hands, and Connor doesn't really have great speed, certainly compared to Edmonds. So one of the reasons why I kind of solidified Edmonds as not quite a number 2 fantasy running back in PPR, I guess he's kind of close to that range, is because he can be a good pass catcher in that offense. We saw it last year. 53 receptions, 850 total yards, 5 touchdowns, and he didn't even play half the snaps. I think he's going to play more than half the snaps this year. They're getting an extra game out of it. I think he's got a shot at getting 1,000 yards by the end of the year, maybe 60 catches, maybe 6 touchdowns.
All right, so Tara took Damian Harris.
I'm sorry, Adam.
Mike Davis went 1 spot ahead. Would you have taken Davis or Harris?
Harris.
Both of them were there.
I've been patiently waiting. I've been patiently waiting for the Mac Jones announcement, and sorry to Cam Newton, but that's just such a good situation now for Damian Harris. So I'm good with him being a late round or a late RB2.
And now we're going to find out if Adam really is a Chase Edmonds guy.
I'll tell you, in all honesty, full PPR, I definitely go Edmonds here. But now it's between Edmonds and Henderson. And,
all right, let's see where your heart's at. I'm not going to lean you one way or the other.
Chase Edmonds.
You take Edmonds.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I for a second, I thought about going Kyler and Edmonds, but I said, nah, I'll just go. I'm not going to go with that. It limits your upside, I think, a little bit. And I went with Josh Allen. By the way, I rarely see Josh Allen get to 48th. So
yeah, I think that's good value for sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the name of the game when you're drafting quarterbacks, at least in my opinion. You want to feel like you're getting at least a better than solid value with your quarterback. And Josh Allen, last pick in round 4, yeah, that's good value. Like that's what you're hoping for from a quarterback this year. You don't have to try and feel like you're stealing him from the rest of your league. You just have to feel like you're getting a good value. That's good value with Josh Allen, better than what his ADP is, which is like round 2.
Oh, wow. Dave, I'm way behind on the Sportsline giveaway. I am very sorry. Okay, so
then do it.
Yes. If you donate, we're going to give away Sportsline subscriptions. So any donation right now is eligible to win a free year. Holy cow, a free year of Sportsline. So please give a nice little St. Jude donation. Donate right now, and you'll be eligible to win a free year of Sportsline.
So just to make clear.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, go ahead, Ben. You talk about the rules here.
Leave your Twitter handle so I can reach out to you. Love all the donations, but if you leave your Twitter handle, we could actually reach out to you and you could win. So, Dave, tell them about Sportsline because Sportsline's incredible.
Yeah, Sportsline has everything that you need. If you like to bet on games, if you like to do DFS, they've got projections for DFS. They've got projections each week for the NFL season as well as overall for the year. They've got Josh Allen as QB1 according to their projections. That's something interesting. And they also really like Derrick Henry at running back. And that's just two of they project everybody in the league. So if you want to get a completely unique set of draft advice for your seasonal leagues plus DFS help from people who do serious DFS stakes, Sportsline is the place to go, along with incredible picks that can help win you money. This is literally something that can help you make money. How often do we have contests for shirts or to get into a draft with us or to do a Zoom call? Those things are fun, but they don't necessarily win you money. This is something that could. It's great. I really appreciate the Sportsline service, if you know what I mean.
And right, it's great gambling advice. That's the backbone of it, and the fantasy advice is terrific too. So it's a free year of Sportsline. It's awesome. All right, we are in the middle of round 5. This has been a pretty running back heavy draft. I mean, Amari Cooper just went 50th overall to Tara. That was very good value. You don't see that. We're going to get a wide receiver run pretty soon with guys. Here's Deontay Johnson. Did Julio go yet?
He did.
I believe he has.
Julio, Deontay Johnson. The top 6 tight ends. Wait, is Pitt still on the board? Pitt's,
Yes, I think he is.
Oh, Dave. All right. Well, wide receivers are gonna rule the day pretty soon. And quarterbacks as well. As let's see, we have I think 3 quarterbacks off the board. We have Mahomes and Allen and Kyler. So I expect Jackson and Dak and Wilson to come off the board pretty soon. Let's see what Zach is going to do here. We'll take a look at his team. Yinzer,
all right.
Raheem Mostert. That gives Dave his tight end.
So the first thing that I'm going to do, Pitts is the top name in my queue. He's probably going to be the pick. I want to see what the teams in slots 10, 11, and 12 have at tight end, just in case they've already got their tight ends covered. It's distance, it's Hans, and it's LT Go Pack. So I'm looking at their teams. Going the distance doesn't have a tight end. LT Go Pack doesn't have a tight end. Right, I already know that I need to take a tight end based on that.
Yeah.
So I'm taking Pitts.
By the way, Hans Gruden is one of the best team names. That's just great. Hans Gruden. I love it. Kyle Pitts, 57th overall.
I love that value.
In the chat room, Zach said he was going to take Pitts, but he couldn't do that to you. That's the nicest. Jerry Jeudy, this is too early for Jeudy Day. Are you going to say no? Over DJ Moore? Well, I guess that's the only one I have a huge problem with.
I would have considered Jeudy there. I'm totally comfortable taking him with the top 60 pick. I think he's going to have a massive breakout year There aren't a lot of wide receivers that we're looking at in this range that you can say that guy's got top 12 potential. And I think Judy has it. Even with Bridgewater as his quarterback, I think he's got the chance to do it because he's such a good pass catcher. We didn't quite see it last year. He had some drops. That was weird. He didn't have a lot of catchable throws. 40% of his throws last year, 40% of his targets were uncatchable. Imagine that 4 out of every 10 targets that you get, you can't do anything with. Of course, you're going to have terrible numbers if that's the case. But I really see him as the best receiver in Denver. He had a really good training camp and a really good preseason. He's got that full year under his belt. I was kind of secretly hoping he'd make it back to me in round 6.
DJ Moore was the next pick, and Hans Gruden's team is actually pretty good. And by the way, we have our first Sportsline winner today, Dave Kuhn. Congratulations.
Great name.
I like this team through 5 rounds. This was with the 11th pick. Joe Mixon, or Tyreek Hill and Joe Mixon, Myles Gaskin, Mark Andrews, and DJ Moore. So getting DJ Moore 59th overall was terrific. He may have been considering him with his 3rd round pick for all I know, but see that this is, yeah. So who was his? It was Tyreek Hill, then it was Mixon, and then it must have been Gaskin, then Andrews, and then DJ Moore. Okay. Lamar Jackson is pick 60, and Adam Thielen is pick 61. Okay, let's see our teams through 5 rounds. Ben, if you want to do that, I'll go to my team first. McCaffrey and Edmonds at running back, Metcalf at wide receiver, Darren Waller at tight end, Josh Allen at quarterback. Very happy with this team. One thing I could have done, I could have skipped Chase Edmonds, taken a second wide receiver like Amari Cooper in a 3-receiver league with a flex, but I'm kind of in the Dave school, or I hate being bad at running back, so I decided I'll probably load up on wide receivers with my next few picks.
When you got Christian McCaffrey going with Chase Edmonds as your RB2, you're able to take that risk.
Absolutely. And you, Tara, have 2 running backs and 3 receivers. You have Dalvin Cook and Damian Harris, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, and Amari Cooper. How do you feel about it?
I feel really good about it. I've been attacking wide receiver a lot more heavy than I have in previous years. So, but there's, it's just such a really rich talent area. And being able to get Amari Cooper as my wide receiver 3, he sounds like he's, I think he played a few snaps in the previous game, so maybe he's going to be perfectly good to go for the opener. And, I'm just a huge believer in the Dallas offense, and it's entirely possible to me that both Amari and CeeDee Lamb finish as top 15 receivers. So I'm comfortable with him.
Okay, and then Dave's team. Dave is actually on deck, and Dave's team is team 3. He has, even though
interesting,
pick 10, I think, or 9.
I'm out of the 9 slot. So the 3 names in my queue were Kareem Hunt, Javonte Williams, and Dak Prescott. I didn't think I'd be able to find it in my heart to take Dak ahead of a running back. This would be my RB3. And part of me kind of wants to take Javonte Williams here. This is a mock, right? This isn't for real?
Correct.
I've already got 2 running backs that I know are going to be in my lineup week 1. I can afford to wait a little bit, and I like a lot of what Kareem Hunt's potential is on a week-to-week basis and what his upside is if Nick Chubb ever goes down. But I'm going to take Javonte Williams. I'm going to kind of return the favor to Zachary, who let me have Pitts in the last round. Now he can have Hunt to go with Nick Chubb, and I can wait a little bit. I can be patient with Javonte Williams.
Don't take a handcuff in round 6. He took Chase.
Well, you could start Chubb and Hunt, though. Like, it's not your typical handcuff situation.
Yeah.
Like when you've got Christian McCaffrey and Chuba Hubbard, you're not going to start Chuba.
I understand, but
when it comes to the Browns, you could start both those guys if you needed to.
Browns running backs in your first 6 picks. I don't think you'd really want to do that, right?
No, you could.
Well, he didn't.
He didn't do it. I don't think it's a bad thing to do. It depends on how deep the league is.
All right, we're in the middle of round 6 here. Chase Claypool and T. Higgins just went. Kareem Hunt went. If we have any questions here, remember, we'll be doing more. You want to do a Sportsline giveaway, Ben?
Yeah, let's do another.
All right, let's do it. Let's donate. Get those donations in right now. Be eligible to win a free year of Sportsline and leave your Twitter handle so we can contact you. So just leave any donation, however big, however small, and you can be eligible to win a free year of Sportsline, which is great.
Might make your year.
Trying to look for some questions in the chat if you guys have any questions. What is your opinion on stacking a quarterback with a wide receiver? From Joshua.
I love it. Give me all the Zach Wilson and Elijah Moore I can handle. No. I like it much better in DFS when you're doing the week-to-week thing. And if it just happens to pass where I get CeeDee Lamb in round 3 or 4 and Dak Prescott in round 5 or 6, and those were the best players available, I'm not going to hate on it. But it's not like something that I'm specifically targeting in redraft. DFS, maybe best ball. I don't mind.
All right, let's have a little fun here. Sybil,
we're not having fun?
Sybil, I paused the draft. Sybil has been a little bit late with the picks, and I've had to help out a little bit pausing the draft for her. So, Sybil, I am very sorry to inform you, you have lost control of your 6th round pick. We are going to let the audience decide your 6th round pick. Let's pull up Sybil's team. It's Team Wildcard, Ben. She has Kyler Murray, James Robinson and Trey Sermon, Travis Kelce, and Tyler Lockett. So she could definitely use a wide receiver. We're not going to give her a quarterback or a tight end. So let's take Dave Richards' rankings. Best receivers are Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Robbie Anderson, Juju Smith-Schuster. Best running backs are Michael Carter. I don't think this is a great spot for a running back. I think we got to go receiver here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So let's go. What do you people in the audience think we should do for Sybil? Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Robbie Anderson, Juju, Sutton, Galladay.
Raiders DST.
What do we got? Tyler Boyd, Juju, Chase. Let's see. The first one who gets 3 or 4 or so picks here. Tebow. Not going to give her Tebow. All right. Let's see. Anderson. All right. Jamar Chase it is. We're going to pick Jamar Chase for Sybil, and we will resume the draft.
Don't you ever do that with one of my picks, by the way.
Hey, man. You just be on time. That's all. All right, Sybil, you are out of timeout, and you'll be able to make your next pick. Tara, you're coming up. So let's take a look at Tara's team here. What are you thinking?
Oh, man. So I want a running back, but unfortunately, I don't want the one I have in mind I can wait on. So more than likely.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, more than likely. Maybe I just go ahead and I'm not comfortable with taking a tight end right here since I've already missed out on those top guys. There's no real point. I could go quarterback, but I'm kind of feeling like I want to shore up that flex position. And I've got someone in mind that has a lot to do with something that Dave said earlier. So I won't give it away. But yeah, I think I'm going to shore up that. It's going to be a wide receiver, and I'm going to shore up that pick right there.
Okay, all right. So you have Dalvin Cook, Damian Harris, Terry McLaurin, Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, and we will see your next pick as RJ's got a strong team going here. With the 3rd pick, he has Kamara, Mike Davis, Darrell Henderson at flex, Justin Jefferson, and A.J. Brown. I mean, starting with Jefferson and Brown is just terrific. And he goes with Odell Beckham. Interesting. Okay. All right, Tara, you are on the clock.
All right. We are going with Courtland Sutton. I really like what Dave was saying about the quarterback situation there. I know some people were disappointed that it was not Drew Lock, but from Drew Lock to Bridgewater, I know there's not a huge down the field upgrade, but what does it for me is the completion percentage. I think last year Bridgewater was 69% at Carolina and Locke was somewhere in the 50s. And that's just a huge upgrade. And when we're talking half PPR, and Courtland Sutton has been looking amazing when he's, played in these last preseason games. So I'm feeling really good about his position. With him and Judy, I think it's really a 1A, 1B situation.
Okay, I took Juju, and a tough pick here for me because I only have 2 wide receivers. It's a 3-receiver league plus a flex. McCaffrey, Edmonds, Metcalf, Juju. I have Waller and Allen. So I'm strong at quarterback, strong at tight end. Michael Carter, someone I'm going to have to wait on. Oh, man. I'm going to take a gamble here. Take Michael Thomas.
There you go.
See how I feel.
A little early.
70
a little rich for my blood. Yeah. We know he's on the pup list. We know he's going to miss at least the first third of the NFL season, frankly, and the fantasy season, almost the first half of the NFL season. We actually had some interesting. We're not sure if he's going to miss 6 weeks or 6 games. There's a report that says 6 weeks. I contacted the NFL because that seems a little unfair to teams that don't have a bye in the first 6 weeks of the season. And the NFL told me that it's the first 6 games of the season. And if that's the case for Michael Thomas, the absolute earliest he can play is week 8 against Tampa Bay.
That's interesting. It wouldn't really change where I'd take him, obviously.
Right. But now you've got to stuff him on your IR. And
I will, of course.
You're not going to get anything out of him. And there's no guarantee that you're going to get what you think you're going to get out of him when he does come back.
That's a great point. But I do think, he'll be better than the 74th or whatever it was, 73rd overall pick.
Okay.
Kenyon Drake. Yeah. Okay, you took Kenyon Drake.
Can I just ask a question of you, Adam?
Yeah.
You took him over Tyler Boyd, who I think even in half PPR has good value. You took him over Robbie Anderson. You took him ahead of Michael Carter. And I understand the warts on Carter, but he might break out before Michael Thomas is even eligible to play.
Yeah, I'm hoping nobody else sees Michael Carter and he won't follow me. Yeah, Carter was the other guy I was choosing between. I don't do Boyd unless it's full PPR. I was going to take Galladay because I think he won't catch a ton of passes.
It's another guy who will be back before Michael Thomas.
He should be back to one. But, Galladay needs touchdowns, and Daniel Jones doesn't throw them. So unless he rushes for touchdowns, I don't know what you could get from Galladay. It wouldn't be a bad pick here. Yeah, look, it's a mock draft. I want to see – everybody knows how fantasy works. We're in round 7. You've got the core of your team. The waiver wire is going to be a factor, okay? So your roster is going to be flexible. I'm going for a guy that could win you the league. I think Michael Thomas has the best chance of anyone on the board right now to win you a league. I kind of compare him to Javonte Williams. So I don't know when you're going to feel comfortable starting Javonte Williams, but I'm confident that he will be awesome for you at some point. So that's why I took Thomas. Tara, what do you like about Kenyon Drake?
I was a big believer in the fact that they really added him to add a dynamic aspect to the pass game, since they legitimately do not throw the ball to running backs at all. And the release of John Brown today, it just kind of confirmed what I was thinking, that he is going to be heavily involved in the pass game. So, from a PPR perspective, I think it's a great thing. I don't think it takes away from Josh Jacobs. I think he's still going to have a good RB2 position getting those goal line carries, but I just really feel positively about Drake.
All right, here's a question from Sam. What's Kenyon Drake's floor and ceiling? What do you think? What's his floor and ceiling?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that his floor would be probably around, let's say 7 points. I think you're going to get that with the guarantee of him seeing pass volume. But depending on how things go with the way that they integrate, it sounds like they're really high on Edwards, and they're going to be utilizing Ruggs as well. But I think it's possible that his ceiling could have him anywhere around 15 points a game. So I feel pretty comfortable with that being someone that you can plug in as a replacement for your RB position.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just doing some housekeeping here. We're in the middle of round 7.
Like laundry?
I have so much damn laundry to fold. I don't know what it's like in your house, but I have a freaking pile in the laundry basket. It is 3 times as high as the original laundry basket. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that after the draft-a-thon, which is a reminder. Tomorrow we have our draft-a-thon. Please join us 6 p.m. Eastern until midnight Eastern. The first 2 hours, the whole thing is on YouTube, youtube.com/fantasyfootballtoday. I think you all know the address. You're on it. The first 2 hours are on CBS Sports HQ, but 6 p.m. Eastern to midnight Eastern on YouTube. It's going to be amazing. Guests from all over the industry, all over the country joining us with fantasy advice. Even if you've already drafted, there will be plenty of relevant fantasy advice for you. We're going to take a little break here to tell you about Paramount Plus, which is incredible. And we will give out some we'll tell you about the Sportsline giveaways as well. But let's find out about Paramount Plus. Subscribe.
Darkness has come into your life.
That's not creepy.
You sound like you're starting to believe.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah. I like evil. in movies, not in real life. All right, here we go. Back to the draft. Brandon Cooks and Antonio Brown. Is 81 too early for Antonio Brown? Is 82 too early for Jacoby Myers?
This is right around where I would take Myers and Brown. I like them both, especially in full PPR. This is half PPR. Brown was a tough pick for me because I think I can get a quarterback coming back, and it might end up being Brown's quarterback. And I already have Godwin on the team, so I would be investing quite heavily in Tampa Bay's passing game. But I didn't want to take Michael Carter because I might take him on the way back, and I didn't want to take Melvin Gordon because I might take him on the way back. So I guess I took what I thought was the best available player at a position that I needed to fill for my lineup. And then I'll have a tough call to make in round 9 or round 8.
Michael Carter, buddy.
No, because he just went to Hans Gruden.
Oh, no.
Booby. Hans Gruden, I think, is my favorite team. It's Mixon and Gaskin, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Mark Andrews, and Michael Carter. I don't know if it's my favorite. It's up there. It's good. Here's Deebo Samuel. 84th. All right. Still got, wide receiver. I'm not going to say it's getting thin now, but, it's getting a little thin. Dave's top wide receivers are Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Marvin Jones. Dave's top running backs are Melvin Gordon, Ronald Jones, and A.J. Dillon. Dave's top quarterbacks are Herbert, Brady, and Tannehill. And top tight ends are Logan Thomas, Noah Fant, and Jonnu Smith. So I guess if you
there's a lot of players I like here. This is a tough spot. Last round and this round. Not many running backs. And the only reason why, I'm even considering Melvin Gordon was because of having Javonte Williams already on the team.
Oh, here's another one from Josh. Ayuk is going to eat this season.
Well, I would hope so. Otherwise, he might die.
Yeah. Tara, your thoughts on Brandon Ayuk?
Love him. Regardless of who's starting at the quarterback position, I think that he's going to make a good leap in his second year. So I'm loving him. I'm drafting him everywhere I can.
My God, he was so good last season. He was, I think, like wide receiver 4 per game down the stretch when Kittle was hurt. I know Kittle was hurt, but still, last 7 games, he was wide receiver 3 per game, on pace for 105 catches, 1,333 yards, 9 targets, and 9 touchdowns, 10 targets per game.
He had 7 games with at least 15 PPR points, but only 2 came when George Kittle was also healthy. So that's one thing that you got to look out for. And then the other thing is that are they going to be a little bit more run-centric because of their offensive line, because of the youth that they have, both at running back with Trey Sermon and with Trey Lance at quarterback? Could all that take away targets from everybody in the passing game, including Ayuk? So I try to be really, really careful about drafting Ayuk, but there's no question about his talent. Very good speed after the catch, and is in an offense that can scheme him up very nicely.
Of these 3 year 2 wide receivers, who do you two prefer? Claypool, Higgins, Ayuk.
I believe I have Claypool 1 spot ahead of Higgins. And no, that's in non-PPR. In full PPR, I have Higgins ahead of Claypool, and I've got Ayuk ahead of both as of now.
Oh, okay. Tara?
Yeah, I would say it's probably Ayuk for me, and then Higgins. I think he's still going to retain that top target position with Cincinnati, so I'm feeling pretty good about him.
Okay.
I do think Claypool is going to make a leap, which affects Juju a little bit more. So I'm a little more hesitant on Juju. Good with Deontay, good with Claypool, and Juju's the one that I'm fading a little in that offense.
Okay, Zach Moss off the board, Sony Michel off the board. Also, before that, we had Melvin Gordon. Oh, we had Corey Davis. Some quarterbacks in this round, Justin Herbert and Tom Brady. Marvin Jones, Devontae Smith. That one really stung. And let's see what RJ does, as Tara is going to be on deck. We'll take a look at Tara's team. Tara's team name is Tara Roberts. So that one's easy to find. They're not all so easy.
Super clever.
Dalvin and Damian Harris, McLaurin, Keenan Allen, and Cooper. Cortland Sutton at flex, Kenyon Drake. So no quarterback, no tight end so far.
Yeah, it was going to be Herbert, so I'm a little hurt right there. But
he would have made it back to you.
Yeah.
I would have taken him over Gordon.
So I am going to go quarterback here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go with Tannehill.
Okay.
High consistency, very dependable and reliable. I think it's a good spot for him.
Boy. Okay, so everybody's really obsessed with Jalen Waddle. I'd like to see him play with both Will Fuller and Devontae Parker and see what happens. But I do like so I can do the friendship strategy with Callaway and Thomas. Or I can go Jalen Waddle here. But first I'm gonna take AJ Dillon. And then I'm going to take a wide receiver.
I like the talent with Dillon. I'm just not sure he's ever going to have that big role.
No, it's a prayer, hoping for someone to get hurt, which we don't like to do, but we do. Let's go with Marquez Callaway. Actually, I have a decent amount of faith in him. So
I do too.
So he'll be a starter for me, and I'll throw Michael Thomas on my bench. All right, Tara's back on the clock. You just took Ryan Tannehill.
Yes. All
so
right.
Don't take another quarterback, please.
I'm not. My gut's telling me to go tight end, or do I wait another round? Is the question.
Tight end would be Logan Thomas, or who would it be?
I've got McLaurin, so I don't want to go with Logan Thomas. I think I am going to go with. I'm going to go with Gesicki. And my reasoning for that is that I think he's going to be a sneaky target recipient because, unfortunately, again, I hate to bring up injuries and I don't want to, say that anyone is injury prone at all. But unfortunately, I'm kind of having a hard time, as you were talking about, seeing all three of Waddle and Fuller and Devontae Parker on the field at the same time. I don't know if we're going to see it. So from my perspective, I think Gesicki has a good chance of being, at the very least, the third target on the field at all times.
I worry, though, that he needs to be the second target. If you look at the last couple of seasons, whenever both Parker and Preston Williams were healthy, he's been very uninvolved. But the flip side of that is I think Tua, compared to Ryan Fitzpatrick, I think he's going to work the middle of the field a lot more. And he seems to really have a decent rapport with Gesicki. Mm-hmm. So come on, Ariella, let's do it. That's two straight auto picks for Ariella. Michael Pittman.
Na. Pittman.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to play the music. Somebody told me I had to play the music.
You got to play it in memoriam for Wayne Gallman.
I know. Gallman cut by the 49ers. Not disappointing.
That was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if you pair Michael Thomas with Callaway, what receiver are they worth combined? Top 15? It's an interesting question. If you basically are going to get the number one receiver for the Saints all year, I got them in round 7 and 8, basically. Beginning of round 7, end of round 8. It's an interesting question, Dave. What do you think?
I would answer a number 3 receiver, but there's obvious potential that when Michael Thomas, I can paint the doom and gloom picture for Michael Thomas all day long. But if he comes back and he's on his game and he's connecting with Jameis Winston, he could be a number 1 receiver. Of course he can. We've seen it from him before.
Okay, let's see. The last few picks, Michael Pittman, Jalen Waddle, Curtis Samuel, Ronald Jones.
A ton of people that I wanted are now gone. Gone.
Tara, how do you feel about Darnell Mooney?
Love.
Really? Oh, look at this. I'm sorry. Look at that. Look at this. What we're Dave. Oh my God. It's a championship belt.
What?
You can bid on. Look at the.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is awesome.
So is that what the winner gets for our Draftathon League?
No, that is something that's up for bid right now. CBSSports.com/eBay. CBSSports.com/eBay. 6-pound custom belt. Am I allowed to bid on this, Ben?
Let him bid on it, Ben.
I'm just bidding, right? Yeah, man.
I'm gonna bid on it if it's under 500 for sure.
Yeah, that is really cool. And be a part of that. All right, here's why I don't like Darnell Mooney. I don't have enough faith in the passing offense, and Allen Robinson is going to hog all the targets. Tell me why you like him, Tara.
I do have faith in the passing offense. I get they're going to let Andy Dalton more than likely start the season, but I think once we hit maybe around week 4 to 6, we'll see Justin Fields come in there. And I think that by all means, from what I've seen, I think it'll be a good situation for Mooney. And I think he's, I do like, Cole Kmet, and I think he's going to get some targets. Jimmy Graham's going to get his in the red zone. But when I'm looking at the amount of volume that they have and Mooney being a safe option, and Robinson's going to be obviously seeing the top defender in that offense, he may be someone that Justin Fields starts leaning towards as a little bit more of a safety blanket versus going towards Robinson.
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people share your enthusiasm. And Elijah Moore, Devin Singletary, James Conner, Will Fuller, Giovanni Bernard, Elijah Moore, Jonnu Smith, and Dave took Stafford.
My QB1.
How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about it. It's the last quarterback that's going to start for somebody in this league in week 1. Don't love his matchup in week 1 as much as I'm going to love other matchups that he has. His schedule really lightens up starting in week 5. But I think the Rams are going to let him air it out quite a bit. And that's an offense that I'm trying to get a piece of in every draft I go into. Getting Matthew Stafford is a pretty big piece. And the best part about it is that I was able to spend my first 9 picks on everything other than quarterback and still get a guy that I think has top 10 potential at the position.
Okay. I'm hoping to get someone that I think is a little underrated right now. And I feel like Dave is going to agree with me. We'll see if this player is still available. And we have, let's see, it's a 15 round draft. I forget. We have, I think, 5 rounds left, 4.5 rounds left. So we'll be wrapping it up pretty soon. And now we're seeing Giovanni Bernard, Naeem Hines, J.D. McKissick all off the board. And obviously, if this were full PPR, it would be a lot more exciting. But they can still help you out in half PPR. Okay, and Robert Tonyan. I feel like Robert Tonyan, probably the least talked about relevant player on our podcast. We almost never talk about Robert Tonyan. Tara, are you taking any Tonyan this year?
I am, yeah. I get it that he's not someone that sees a ton of targets and is just working off a whole lot of efficiency, but that's really, aside from Devontae Adams, that has a lot to do with the Packers offense as a whole. Aaron Jones is the same way. And I don't see any reason that they won't repeat. I feel pretty comfortable that, and I also think I saw some news too that they're going to try and get him a few more targets as well. So if he can maintain the touchdowns with maybe just, maybe 2 less, I'd feel comfortable with the where he's going right now.
By the way, Marquise Brown was the guy I wanted. You're going to have you got some injuries at wide receiver. He finished strong last year, and he just went 117th overall. All right, Tara, what do you got? You are on the clock with Tannehill, Cook, and Damian Harris, Keenan Allen, McLaurin, and Cooper, Cortland Sutton at flex, Mike Gesicki at tight end, Kenyon Drake on the bench.
I was looking at Marquise Brown as well. If I'm gonna go down a little bit, and I'm gonna try Tyrell Williams. I like him because I do think, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I do think that Tyrell Williams still has the potential to be the wide receiver 1 in that offense.
Okay. I am going to, still reeling from not getting Marquise Brown, I will go with Michael Gallup and James White. And it's back to Tara.
Ooh, that was quick. Okay.
Hopefully you didn't want Gallup or White.
Not Gallup. Let's see.
Hey, I'm right here. I can hear you.
What she's saying is that she doesn't think Michael Gallup is worth a round 11 pick, and you took him with the last pick of round 10. She's saying that you reached on Michael Gallup and that you're terrible at living life.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. I'm going to look for some questions here.
She basically questions your mental capabilities as a human being.
Jarvis Landry.
By the way, Tara, how do you feel about raisins?
Oh, yeah. How do you feel about raisins?
Not a fan of raisins.
Okay, so she further thinks that you've got further problems, Adam, when it comes to your palate.
Hold on, Dave. I'll be right back. Okay.
Adam puts raisins on his pizza.
No, I don't. That's not true. But I would.
But you would.
Oh no!
I'll be right back.
I love that Adam's he's probably going to get like a big bowl of raisins.
Yes, right now,
he's gonna,
just
like,
wave
chow down
them all
on 'em.
over the camera.
Yeah, he just sometimes I think he likes to take raisins and like put them in his nose for a second and then take them out and eat them. And then it's a childhood problem that Adam had going on in his life. I'd like to know what he's doing. Ben, what do you think
just
he's
lucky
doing?
tomorrow
Okay.
Snickers is sponsoring, so he actually gets to eat a Snickers.
Right, you've got
Well, I like
Snickers
that.
instead of raisins. That's-
Okay, so this is what I get every other week from Whole Foods. This is there are 6 of these things of raisins. That's 1, 2, 3, and here's 4. So that's 24 packs of little things of raisins. So
Every week you get
That's
24
intense.
packs of raisins.
every other week. I don't know. That's kind of a lie. It might last me 3 weeks.
Like
But-
Heath's version of this is like I've got a beer and a 6-pack of beer and a growler of beer. And mine is I get a pizza from this place and a pizza from that place and a pizza shipped in from Chicago. But Adam goes with the raisins.
Yeah, well, I eat a lot of pizza too, but like you said, Dave, pizza and raisins.
Ooh, someone took Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, Gallman.
Ooh.
Gallman getting drafted. Okay, Adam would take before Christian McCaffrey. You know what? Now I have both today. My poor teeth. Yeah. No cavities right now. Dave loves Chicago pizza, confirmed.
Oh, yes, of
Dave
course.
loves cheesy, meaty casserole for sure.
Oh, yes.
Saquon or Zeke? Tyler wants to know.
Zeke. I don't know why I had to think about that for more than 1/3 of 1 second.
Yeah.
It's Zeke for me, just because Cowboys offense, and I think he's, when you look at what he did the first games last year with Dak on the field, it was kind of incredible. So I expect him to return to that, but I'm not as down as Saquon as a lot of people are. Just if you're taking him, know that you're probably going to have to make some contingency plans and accept some certain things at the beginning of the season, but he'll finish off strong.
All right, we got Russell. Russell Gage is interesting. We're going to talk a lot about him. We'll get to Russell Gage, and then we'll answer this question. Tara, what do you think about Russell Gage? Is he a good late-round pick? Do you like him better than Michael Gallup? I think you like everybody but better than Gallup.
Yeah, I do. Well, yeah, not to down on Gallup, but yeah, I feel pretty good about Russell Gage. When you look at him last year, when Julio Jones was out, he had a pretty consistent floor. And I know that Kyle Pitts is going to come in and be a pretty dominating factor, but by no means should Gage not have a good opportunity there to be a decent bench receiver for you guys and be able to step in.
All right, Schrager, what was your pitch repertoire?
I had a sinker that went about 82 miles an hour on a good day. I threw a frisbee and an occasional changeup, but mostly a frisbee.
That's
Frisbee?
just what the heck is a frisbee? It's like a slider.
It moves like a frisbee. It moves from here to here. Remember, it's underhand.
Yeah. I
out there.
I meant to get rid of the question and I got rid of you.
Nice
Better
throwing
off that
at
way
him.
anyway.
Ben, AJ Brown or DK Metcalf? They're the same person, but who do you guys like?
I like
For me, it's
AJ a
AJ
little.
Brown.
Yep.
Yeah.
We agree, Tara.
Still more
Okay.
consistency with him.
Let's see this question. 5th pick, assuming the top 4 backs go, Zeke, Kelsey, or Adams?
I'm taking Zeke. I want to get ahead of the running back curve here. Make sure that I've got at least one stud when I have the chance to do it. Kelsey's a stud at his position. Adams is a stud at his position. Those guys are safe. There's no question about it. But Zeke has delivered in PPR in 61 games with Dak. He's given you at least 15 PPR points 82% of the time.
Wow, that's terrific.
Yeah, that's unheard of. And it's even better in non-PPR. If you're looking for 10 non-PPR points, he's done that 90% of the time.
And a 3 wide receiver plus a flex, do you still go RB? We just so you know, on tomorrow's show, we have a pretty good conversation about this toward the end when we do the wide receiver position preview recap. But this is a good question. Tara, 3 receiver plus a flex, which is exactly what this is. Do you still go RB?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, depending on what position you are. If you're in the back half, for sure, RB. If you are one of the first few picks, then I would go ahead and get a wide receiver with that second pick.
Okay. How about this one? Kareem Hunt or Gus Edwards from William?
I believe I have Gus ranked higher. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I would go with Gus.
The Gus bus.
Any recent picks that you guys particularly like or dislike?
I liked Joe Burrow at 136th overall.
Good job, Dave.
Thank you.
He's such an afterthought right now, Joe Burrow. I love it.
It's pretty crazy, and this is what I love to do with my late picks anyway. It's just I'm not worried about, well, what am I going to use the second quarterback for? I just want to get guys that have some sick upside with my late picks, and I think Burrow fits into that category quite nicely when you look at the receivers that he has, the defense that he plays with. It's terrible. I don't think Joe Mixon's going to dominate the work in this offense from game to game. I think there's a lot to really like about Burrow and his fantasy production this year.
How about you, Tara? Any picks stand out recently?
Yeah, it was the guy I had queued up, Ramondre Stevenson. You know, he's one man out now from, I know James White is obviously going to be involved from a pass perspective, but when you consider the fact that Ramondre is probably one man out from being that guy that gets the early carries and the goal line carries, then he's a great guy to have on your bench as a handcuff.
Okay. Yeah, I like Henry Ruggs now that John Brown is released. And not that that matters anyway, but it just solidifies their depth chart a little bit. And Ruggs went to, 133rd overall. So good job there. Tara takes Gabriel Davis. Okay.
Good high upside pick.
See if I can take a pick that Tara hates. Well, in a normal league, I might take Irv Smith here because I know I can put him in an IR spot and just pick up a free agent. But I won't do that for this draft. I will take Chuba Hubbard. And who is my flex right now? It's AJ Dillon. That's a problem. No, it's Michael Gallup would be my flex. So I don't love that. I think I'm always torn between two players. I'm going to take Justin Jackson. He's a guy who has, I think, a role.
Hopefully, if he's healthy.
Yeah, if he's healthy. I was going to take Sterling Shepard because I think in week one, you don't know if Galladay's not playing and Ingram's not playing, and I think Galladay will play, but maybe if Slayton's not playing, I think Shepard's probably a number 3 receiver. So if you just need somebody to help you out in week one.
I wonder if Shepard plays no matter who's healthy and who's not for the Giants. He's just been reliable. He's a good short target for them.
He just might. He's their number 2 receiver. But I'm just saying he might just get so many targets without, the
problem is that he's not a very high upside play.
No, it's not.
Definitely a floor receiver, especially in half PPR.
We're going to end the draft after round 13. Because it's going to be DSTs after that. And your Tara's last pick. Oh, you have 8 seconds. Oh, there you go. Devontae Parker. Yeah. Sorry to freak you out there.
My mind was a little confused. I couldn't decide if I wanted to just go ahead and take a defense right there, but we'll go ahead and get one more potential flex.
Between him and Gesicki, you'll probably have somebody who does great week one.
I guess let's do this real quick here. Instead of breaking down our teams, let's break down the 7 listener teams. Davis Barrios, DRB. Okay, that's the first one we'll look at. DRB. Brady, Aaron Jones, and Montgomery. Evans, Julio, Galladay. Kittle, Kareem Hunt. I'm going to give this team a B+.
You got to love the running backs. You can't complain about the quarterback. The receivers are definitely the diciest part of the roster, but if 2 of those 3 hit, this is a playoff team.
This is an A-. I'm sorry. That wasn't fair. This is an A-. This is a good team.
Yeah, jerk. That's not fair.
Terry, want to grade it?
Yeah. I do. I agree. It's an A-. I really like the running back situation. Tom Brady. I mean, you can't go wrong.
All right, let's go to going the distance. Eric Johnson's team. Lamar Jackson, Najee Harris, and DeAndre Swift. Diggs, Woods, Thielen, Fant, and Debo. I feel like this team started out really strong, lost a little bit of steam. This one is a B for me.
I'm going to say it's either a B or a B plus. I think if it were full PPR, I'd say B plus. So I'm going to give it the B, but Najee's great. Lamar Jackson, obviously, you know what his potential is. Diggs, the receivers are fine. I'm not sure what to think about Fant. And Deebo Samuel, not my favorite flex guy, but he's got a lot of other interesting options on his bench.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Dave, if you have to hop off, go for it.
Okay, then I will. I was going to turn on the light, but I do actually need to get going. So
No problem. We're gonna
thank you for that. Appreciate it. Please don't ridicule my team too much when you get to it, you guys.
We're not getting to it. Don't worry. Here's
Good night, Tara. Good night, Jim. Good night, Adam. Good night, Ben.
Just Hans Gruden's team is Justin Herbert. Let's go to Hans Gruden. Justin Herbert, Joe Mixon, Myles Gaskin, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Mark Andrews, Michael Carter. Other options for flex: Sterling Shepard, James Conner. So far, my favorite team, I'd say. I'm going to give this an A.
Yeah, I'll give it a B plus. I think from a wide receiver perspective, fantastic. I think, tight end, great. Running back, I'm not huge on Gaskin. I know I still believe they're going to go with more of a hot hand situation. So I'm a little bit worried on that end with that and the combination of Michael Carter, and David Johnson. But overall, really good team.
Let's do LT Go Pack. LT Go Pack. Dak Prescott, Eckler and Barkley, Lamb, Judy, Myers, Jonnu Smith, Miles Sanders at flex. Got Corey Davis on the bench. Not to be a jerk, I'm going to give this a C. I don't like this team so much. I just don't like the wide receivers enough. And the tight end is a weakness too.
Well, but there's a lot of upside with the wide receivers. And that's my thing is, there's not a lot of guarantees, but there's a lot of upside if things hit right. So it's something that's either going to, and then you've got Barkley and Eckler. So for me, it's a very high upside team. So I like the potential. If you're trying to go for a win, this is someone that it's a team that can carry you to the championship or not. So it's boom or bust.
Okay, let's go with Ariella. Ariella Lester, team 8. So this would be Russell Wilson. I'll let Ben find it there. There we go. Wilson, Henry, and Carson. Hopkins, Kupp, Robbie Anderson, Hawkinson. Flex right now is Sony Michel. I'd say Marquise Brown's probably your week 1 flex. Great team. I love it. A. Big A. Are we going to agree on anything, Tara?
Sorry, I had to go ahead and choose my little defense right there.
Oh, my bad.
I'm going to time out on the last pick. Let's see. I Derrick Henry, love, obviously. Chris Carson is someone who I'm very high on because I think that, I think he's the one that has late RB1 potential. DeAndre Hopkins, Robbie Anderson, yes. Cooper Kupp, overall, it's a good team, especially being able to put in a potential with Sony Michel right there.
Let's go to wild card. We're going to do these really fast. I have to go. I have a Zoom orientation for preschool, so I'm sorry about that. In 5 minutes. Kyler Murray, James Robinson, Trey Sermon, Jamar Chase, Tyler Lockett, Shenault, Kelsey, Zach Moss. I'm going C on this one too. I like the bench, but I don't love the starters.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'm a little bit shakier on that running back situation there, although I do think that Trey Sermon is going to take over at some point. But yeah, and the wide receivers are a little bit more of a boom or bust situation.
All right, here we go from Yinzer. Last one here. Yinzer looks like a zip code. I don't know. Patrick Mahomes, Nick Chubb, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Chase Claypool, Brandon Cooks, Tyler Higbee, and Raheem Mostert. This is a very balanced team.
I love the bench. When you're sitting there with Russell Gage, Darnell Mooney, Marvin Jones, again, is probably going to get a good situation down there, being a nice security blanket. I like the bench, solid starting lineup, good receivers. Yeah. I'm
going A-.
I give it a B plus.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Tara, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Everybody, thanks for viewing. Really appreciate it. Ben Trager putting it together, Dave Richard as well. We'll talk to you next week. with what are we talking about? Week 1 starts and things like that. Holy cow. Waiver
We'll
wire.
talk to you guys tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, the draftathon. We'll see you 6 p.m. right here at youtube.com/fantasy football today, 6 p.m. until midnight Eastern. The best draft and fantasy football advice you're going to get from analysts all over the industry. I'm Adam Mazer with Ben and Tara and Dave. Talk to you then.